Okay, this is going to be the first in my little tips and tricks series. This one's going to be about beats and bass and even guitar stuff. Basically, this is the split and paste tip and trick video. So I'm going to open up here, and I already did this one. It's called Acid Hits Dance Part 1. I was just playing around. This is what I'm going to be talking about here. Okay. First off, this is all about how to construct a track with kind of a tricky way to craft a really good drum and bass type thing, but this is more about the drums than anything else. Okay. You can see here, this one right here, it's called the Soggy Bottom, is the name of this is the bass track. This stuff right here is unimportant, so I'm going to minimize it here. That's just filler type stuff. The rest of this is all drum hits. Okay, I'm going to pull out so you can see that a little bit better. Alright. So, what this is here is that you got a kick drum beat that I put down myself. I actually went in and put in every single one of those out to a point, then I copied them and pasted them out to where I had the beat throughout the whole track, because I wanted that to be the bass line, boom, 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 for the dance beat. Okay. This here is basically, I did the same thing, only this is with a snare drum. Okay, and that gives a nice counterpoint to the kick. It various points through the track. This is hi-hat. You know, in most drum tracks, you will hear like a tink, 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 keeping the overall rhythm of the track. That's usually a hi-hat. Well, not usually, it is a hi-hat, but that's what that's for up there. And this is just one loop by itself. This is a one-shot. In a lot of loops, drum loop packs, you'll find one-shots, which is just recordings of single drum hits. That's what I've used for pretty much all of this stuff. Okay. Now, where is that other drum beat? Maybe that one. Okay, never mind. This one was important. Okay, this is another drum loop. This is a full drum loop. So what I've done is I've used this one drum loop to give me a basic background drum line. I've used the individual kick sound to give me the bass rhythm for the kick. I've got the hi-hat in there to give me the count for the counting part of it. The snare, and this is snare, a shaker hi-hat, a cowbell. I feel the need for more cowbell. Clapper, another hi-hat. Okay, crash cymbal, you know, the type thing. Toms, which is the thick sounding drums that you hear like in the, you know, that the front 3 or 4 drums is usually your toms and the really big ones, and then you got your snares, or the smaller ones. That's these. And pull this out a little bit so you can really see what I've done. So I've gone in and I've really made up a whole drum track just by using these individual hits. You know, I mean, you can see just how much stuff I actually had to kind of go in and really, because it may look solid, but like I said, you know, that's individual drum hits actually. So, and pull back and you can see the whole thing. And I've got this bump and grindy drum loop in here that gives a nice accompaniment to what I've put down, which the whole purpose of this is that this takes a lot longer than just using the other method I showed you, which is mixing 2 or 3 simpler drum beats together to get your own. But this is a lot more personalized and unique because nobody is ever really going to have something that sounds exactly like this, not without copying it, at which point they are infringing on your creativity and your copyright. Ha ha ha. So this is the trick here, is right here for the drums, is you can still get your own unique sound by using the one-hit drum loops or one-shots, but not have to go through the entire process of cutting and laying out a full drum track this way by using one simpler drum loop and then adding on some of your own stuff. I mean, I think altogether this took maybe a couple of hours to put together this part and all of the drum hits. It can be kind of tedious, but in the long run the work is worth it because, again, you end up with something that's completely yours. So, and then what I did is, once I had a good solid it's roughly 2.5 minutes right there, from that point to this point, so cut that out. So maybe 2 minutes worth of drum stuff I had put in, because this song ended up being over 9 minutes long. Because drum and bass, it's supposed to be kind of a steady build type sound. So after that, I just kind of copied all of that and then pasted it in 3 more times. But by rearranging this stuff with the other loops, it never gets repetitive, because it's never exactly the same thing going on all the way through. In fact, if you actually I'm going to put this up, of course, so you can hear it. If you listen through it all the way through, you will hear the repetition of this part, but it's difficult because without this being in exactly the same place every single time, and all of these things being in the same places every single time, it's hard to pick up on the repetition of it. And again, if you're willing to go ahead and just do this throughout the whole track, it's going to be completely unique to you. Nobody is ever going to have precisely that unless they actually look at this video, for example, and copy everything I did. And even then, that'll probably be rather difficult. So I think that's really all I need to say about this particular trick. And again, just to make sure the trick is understood, it's taking the time to lay out a bare bones type sounding, well, not bare bones, but how complicated you want to make it is up to you. In this case, I used a kick, one-shot kick. I used a hi-hat loop. The suspended. Oh, that's a... Okay, then I used this other hi-hat loop as another filler for certain points. I used this snare drum that repeats often through the track as a counterpoint to the kick.